All right, we're going to be looking back at The Wasted Hack. Once again, we got 2 new books to look at. All 3 of these books are in a print bundle, which is where they came from, on Ttrpg, as well as PDF. You can get those as well. And the link is down in the description if you want to pick them up. But we're going to put this one aside since we already looked at the main book. I'm going to look at these 2 books by themselves here. So these books are less than $7 in print on Ttrpg, and I think they're a great addition to your game. You should probably pick them up if you want to check out The Wasted Hack. So this first one here is a collection of post-apocalyptic foes, and it's got a little extra stuff in there too. So we're going to take a look at it. I'm just going to kind of go through. There's 52 new monsters, which I think add a great bit of nasty monsters to your campaign. And you're going to have a whole gambit of stuff here. You're going to have a lot of insects, like these irradiated ants and pill bugs, bloodhawks, which are pretty much like sturges, but very large. You're going to have some things that aren't described very well visually. So it says like here, this character, this Boogan here is a stuff of nightmares, but doesn't really explain what it looks like. So you're going to have to do a little bit of, imagination usage there and try to fill out what this thing looks like. Claws and bite. So that might help you, plus it can teleport. There's the Creeping Doom. It's a huge, massive sand squid that often inhabits the entire lower buried levels of ruined buildings. So that's nasty when you get down there. And then it's going to try to pull the building down around you, thus trying to kill you. Many things in this book here are going to try to kill you. Big surprise. Dark cultists, they can summon up a radiation golem. You've got fungoids, pretty much mushroom-type people that live underneath the surface or in radioactive forests. They've got a princess, which I like that art there. It's pretty cool. She tries to lure people to her and then murder them. So, again, not nice. Gangers. So you're going to have some normal human-type enemies in this. An asphalt golem, which is pretty cool. It's going to be able to heal itself by drawing in rubble and debris. So that's neat. Roach golem is pretty cool. They can collapse into a scattering swarm of roaches once per day and try to, flee the scene, only to come back later and possibly surprise attack you, hoping to probably murder you. Sand golem, sewage golem, and human guard. But the sewage golem, let's go back to that, obviously. It's funny whenever you attack it in melee, your charisma checks are going to be all at disadvantage until you clean yourself up, because you're going to smell like poo after you fight this guy. That's detrimental. You don't want that. Which you probably already smell pretty bad if you're in a wasteland, post-apocalyptic world. Hump sinks are half mammals, half reptiles. Infected are kind of like half-alive zombies, almost kind of like, once again, the ghouls from Fallout. You've got killer locusts. These guys here, pretty much big bipedal insectoids. They're going to try to kill you. You've got a lich. It's a monster that has 10 random mutations, and obviously it's a big baddie in this game. With 10 to 12 hit dice, it's going to really try to kill you. Lizard folk, mongrel, which are dogmen. Muck dragon down here, he's going to try to eat you. Mutants are going to try to probably club you, different versions of those. Thinkers are going to try to outthink you, and they're also going to try to stun you with a mental attack. Typical mutant, so that's good. You've got this purge bot who used to eradicate undead. Now it realizes, hey, anything that's alive could possibly be undead, so I might as well just go ahead and take care of it while it's still alive. So that's not good. Pyro skulls right out of Doom with floating skulls that can catch on fire. You got the normal stats for a raider, a ratling right here, as well as one that's a murderer. So that's not good. You've got this scientist Prowler, pretty much these scientists that are on the prowl looking for new test subjects. You've got this sludge maid here. She likes to lure their prey to a toxic, watery death. And they thrive in toxic pools. And so that's good for them. You've got a huge snake dragon with 7 hit dice. They can tunnel underneath the desert and broken city streets alike. Thick scales, and they have their burrow attack. Human soldiers. A hanging tree, of course, corpses dangle from the branches, and murderous vines lie in wait for more victims to try to strangle and kill you. You've got underdwellers. They hate the sun. They loathe it, and they can see perfectly well in total darkness, but of course you bring them out to light, and they're going to have some negatives. You've got warhounds, mutated hounds that were bred for fighting. You've got a robot warhound, so obviously a mechanical version of it, so it's going to be even nastier. You've got a wild pack of starving dogs. You've got this math wizard who is very cool. He's got his little calculator there, And it says math wizards can only be hit by rolling an even number. They're able to produce the effects of 3 mutations by performing complex calculations. Very cool dude here. I don't know what his beef is with people, but pretty cool. Zipline Cannibals. I guess if they're zip lines, they're going to whiz overhead and drop from the sky to try to eat you. And if they fail their attack, they're going to hit the ground and be out of action. So not great. You've got a Scrub Yeti. You've got a normal zombie. And then from the cover of the book, of the main book, you've got the zombie biker. It says what I like. It says their tanks have been empty for decades, but their scoots still run as long as the zombie bikers ride them. So they can only be killed by fire or explosives. So very cool. So here's kind of the brief table here showing you all the different creatures by hit dice with their special ability. And that's all well and good. But then there's some cool stuff here at the back, which I really like. Creature customizing. So these are all words you can use to help give your creatures a little bump up in abilities, such as bulletproof, that gives them more armor points. A champion, all tests versus it at disadvantage, +2 damage to all attacks. Cloaked, clumsy, controller, leech, freezing, flaming. Very cool little system just to give you some neat descriptors there to add to make your creatures more unique. And here they keep on going. Sickly, strong, titan, toxic. And one thing he did that was very cool is he created this character here, Siskel, strong, flaming lizard folk warrior. So you've got the strong, +1 hit dice. You've got flaming attack, and then warrior gives it melee defense rolls versus the creature are at +1. So it shows you how he was able to use those descriptors to create a unique creature. And a little bit of information about it too. And then we've got a whole new character class. So this is great. We got the Beast Hunter. Obviously, they're going to be reminiscent of kind of Rangers a little bit, where they pick a specialty beast that they like to kill. And it's going to be like robot, mutant, insectoid, or whatever you can think of. And they gain advantage on all attacks versus them. Very cool. And then they have their own basic special features. They're going to obviously help them sneak and kill those beasts in the wild. And then they have their advanced, which lets them all the way up here to Beastmaster. Any single animal companion pretty much has more hit dice. And you're like, animal companion, what's that? Well, it's right here. We've got rules for animal companions with some examples. A little bit of a mistake right there. But it's very cool that he's added in some information on here in case you want to take along an animal companion. And then he's done these cards. So obviously if you have the PDF, you can cut those out, put them on heavy cardstock and then laminate them and just go to town. And he's also got, if you go on Ttrpg, there's several free things that you can download. And some of them have more of these cards that help have all the information. And if you like stuff like that, and if you know about my Pocket Fantasy game, you know I like stuff like that to help you quickly have the stats for those creatures. And it's going to end out with just a couple pictures like that. It doesn't have all of them. So we're going to put that one aside. And then we've got Miserable Wreckers. This is a collection of named foes. So what he did was he took the customization of creatures and he made a bunch of named foes. And named foes is its own descriptor as well. It gives them an extra hit dice. And so you can see quick, speed loading, champion, soldier. And in the back, there's a couple more new descriptors in this book. So each one of these characters can be NPCs you run across. Maybe they give you, your job that to get some money. They could become nemesis for you. The list goes on. And we're not going to go into all of them here, but you can see it's got all the prevalent information that you need, their damage, their armor points, armor resistant. And then, of course, it's going to tell you what descriptors they use to create them. So it just shows you how you can take those descriptors and make cool, unique foes with a little description here about what they're about. Very, very neat book. I really like that a lot. And at first, I didn't really realize that that's what he had done, was use those descriptors to create these creatures. I thought he just kind of made them. So there's a good bit of them, obviously. Corvo Steel is pretty cool. I like that mug. He looks nice. And you can see the different art that he's done. She looks like she'd be a great villain, of course. I like Old Bill. He looks great. Here's a big Purgebot Titan. And we're just going to go through it. You can see the pictures. And so you've got you've got some new descriptors here. Speed, Loading, Undying, Eternal, Glutton, Silent, Warband, and Mesmerizing. Very neat. But then we got another character class. So, fantastic. Now, the lowlife is very interesting. He is a jerk, is what he is. So, what he does is he steals stuff from other people. If they get like a luck, they have like a luck point, he can steal that to use an ability. It says here, like pickpocket, text dexterity with advantage to steal one space item from another at close range. So he's always going to be able to steal stuff. Me first, trade initiative test, die rolls with another character. So he's just going to like say, no, your initiative that you rolled is my initiative. So he's very interesting in that your group is going to have to be okay with this guy doing this stuff. But a lot of the stuff he's going to do is going to help the group out, even though he might be swiping stuff from you. Here's could be worse. Action dice only degrade on a roll of 1 for all other characters for 1 moment. This bonus cannot be stolen by Glory Hound. So he does help people, though. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of good and bad. Here, when an action die is fully degraded by a roll, spend a luck point to steal 1 action die from another character and ignore the result. Very interesting. Misdirection, when targeted by a foe, shift the focus of the attack to another close or nearby player character. So you're like, oh, I'm about to get attacked. No, I'm not. This guy beside me, my buddy over here, he's going to get attacked. So we'll see how that goes for your group. It should be very interesting. And I've not really seen a character class in games that kind of do this, that they're all about kind of stealing the abilities of other characters. When another character rolls a great success, use his power to steal their luck point for the play session. I mean, it's interesting, that's for sure. And then great, look at this. Playable species. So these are the Gato, which are like catfolk, mongrels, dogs, ratlings, and ravens. So you can, in essence, choose to play a non-human or infected species, grants access to unique specials. So there are 4 creature species, in essence, that you can tack on to all character classes except infected. So what you do is, instead of getting your normal advanced special, you have to pick the required special, like right here. This is what makes you who you are. So for the cat-like race, you're going to get bad kitty, good dog. You're going to get those as your advanced special. You have to change those out. But they get their own special features, which is not as much, obviously, as the other ones, but still very cool and unique. You got the ratling, you got the raven. I just think it's a great addition to it, to be able to add a little different, kind of races to the Wasted Hack. Character sheet again. And then we've got some more of these cutout cards right here, and they look like they've been doing a little bit better. They got the little dots there, so you can cut it out easier, and there's many more of them in this book. So very cool. It doesn't have all of them, obviously. And that's that. So, like I said, for $7 each, these are great books to add to your Wasted Hack game. Got a lot of good information up there. You've got the great descriptors, the customizing of creatures, 2 new character classes. I just think they're great books to pick up. I'm glad that was part of that bundle. And get all this stuff online that's free too. I know there's an adventure and some other stuff as well. So really that's all that's been made for it. So once you get these books, and here's the main book again. Once you get those books and get all the stuff that's online, you're pretty much set to go. And I think you'll have lots of fun with it. So there it is. That's all about the Wasted Hack. Again, thanks to Shocker CK for giving us these books to look at. And yeah, go check them out. It's on Ttrpg, link in the description. And I've got some really cool stuff to show you in the next upcoming video. So thanks a lot.